leak in the attic, and it caused some damage. And when they took the plaster off to re-plaster and everything, it had all the the wood reed um, studding behind the walls. So it was like all the weave board stuff that they used to use, like newspaper and hay and stuff like that, to attach the plaster on. You can still see it all stuck to the weave board and what have you. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it was like that in our last house. It was pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but it was just it was so cold in that house. It used to cost us what, about £200 a month to heat the house, didn't it? Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, we probably did put more than that on, to be honest. Freezing that house. I loved it, but it was freezing.
I remember when we first moved into the house, with more like what it'd be like the price on stuff, and we kept putting the heating on. Got cold, and I think we got the bill. It was nearly two.
Yeah.
In a 3-month period.
Yeah. No. Yeah, ours had that like cavity wall insulation and all that kind of thing. But the thing that was really really bad in the house we lived in, it was 4 stories. It was 4 floors, and it had a spiral staircase. It was an old one. So literally like the stairs if you fell through the middle of them, you'd fall 4 floors down. So trying to heat the hallway, which went straight up to the roof, it was impossible to heat it, and the only radiator that was actually in the stairwell was on the ground floor near the front door. So you literally had like three floors that had no radiators on them or anything like that. So it was really, really cold, and it didn't matter if you heated the other rooms or anything like that. It just got sucked away into the hallway, didn't it? It was so bad.
But we found out that was because of the boiler, weren't it?
The boiler wasn't powerful enough, yeah.
Yeah, the boiler was in
the basement. Yeah.
And it was powerful enough. But even because they have a certain, apparently it was actually illegal to have that sort of boiler.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We found out just before we moved, didn't we?
Yeah, they replaced the boiler like a month before we moved. When they knew we were moving, they replaced it. But yeah, it turned out the boiler that we had in the house was built for like a 2 up, 2 down. Yeah, we were renting at the time. But yeah, it was like a 2 up, 2 down. It was built for a 2 up, 2 down, so it just wasn't powerful enough to heat the house, and it was like just burning gas. And it's like, oh.
Fireplace.
Because the flue were broken.
The flue were broken, so.
And the landlord wouldn't replace the catch to open the smoke flue, so we couldn't even use the open fire. Yeah, so it was ridiculous. Oh man, it had open fires in every room, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it did.
But because of the flue being broken, we couldn't use any of them. Yeah, that was really bad, that. But no, I do prefer the older houses. So like the age of yours, I do prefer them. They're lovely houses. They have so much character and all that kind of thing.
They do,
but
they actually.
they do last, yeah. Well, it's like we've lived in this house for 5 years now. And in all fairness, we've not had a lot of problems, have we? A lot of them have been sort of like cosmetic damage and stuff like that, the house settling and all that kind of thing. I think the worst thing that we've had go wrong in this house is the new UPVC doors are crap.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? I've got to wait for you.
No, I've done it.
Have you done it? So I can
you can just carry on bailing.
Right,
yeah, because this one will wrap.
Alright, I've just been waiting for you to have a break.
We have a fireplace inserted now with a blower on it. We supplement our main heat with that. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what that house had. But it had open fireplaces all through the house, and then it actually had like a built-in heating system that sort of like went through the house from the fires. But because the flue wouldn't open to let the smoke out, the house just filled with smoke, so you couldn't use them. PVC doors. Yeah, PVC doors. Yeah, we basically the back door in our house, in the house we're in now, it's a PVC door, but it's a full glass door, so the glass is really, really heavy, and the door keeps bending, so that it starts scraping along the ground. and it opens outwards as well, so you've got to really slam it to shut it. It's crap. We've had them out to fix it. I don't know how many times.
They've put
but
lighter glass in it now, haven't
they put they decided to put lighter glass in now, so that it shouldn't do it. But we'll see. Apparently the glass that was in it was too heavy, and I was like, well, why didn't you put lighter glass in it in the first place? So, but yeah. There's a passenger that has a fast baler too. Yeah, there is a passenger. Yeah, I don't know why we decided to go with the CLAAS. I think Evexia chose the CLAAS baler.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think she just chose it out of sheer whateverness. I prefer square balers. I'm not a fan of round balers, to be fair. But yeah. I like the Vicon fast baler. It has a buff. Yes, you're right. It does have the. It has the chamber, doesn't it? The pre-chamber, so that you can just keep going. Yeah, that is true. I actually forgot about that. I forget these things. But yeah, no, I do like the Vicon one actually. I remember using it in 19, with it having the pre-chamber in it, so you can just keep moving constantly.
Yeah, that is handy. When it puts it into the back and then keep going, and it
you can keep going. Yeah, so you sort of basically get half a bale before you start making a bale, kind of thing. And I like the round one. Wrapping square bales is a pain. They're fine for straw height. Yeah, well that's it. Well, it's like when I'm doing silage, I do tend to use round. But yeah, you're right. For square bales, it's more straw and hay that I tend to use it for. Right, so that is all the windrowing done, and you're now making some more silage, aren't you? Monkey coke. It is what it is. Take this back to the sort of farmyard. See if I can find somewhere to put it. I also use a mower with a swath drops, no need to win mowers. Yeah, no, the one we've got does do swath drop, but obviously because we wanted to ted half of the field, we use obviously widespread. But Evexia just forgot to put it on swath for the for the rest of it. So, but it is what it is. Don't matter.
Oh, was that supposed?
Don't worry, it doesn't really matter.
I don't even know.
No, you just sort of go with the flow, don't you?
I just do what I'm told.
Right. So let's take this back, and then we're gonna have to start moving some bales. But I think we're gonna need a big trailer. Get all these moved. He said the swath drops. That's one way of doing it, I suppose. One way of doing it. When I first started playing, we didn't have fancy stuff like that, you see. It was a case of you mowed it, you ted it, and you windrowed it. Yeah, they have eliminated the traffic on this map. It's don't get me wrong, I like the traffic on some maps for the ambience. It feels nice and all that kind of thing, but they can also be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
They can be a real nuisance.
You had to turn it off.
Yeah, they were being right nuisances. Like I said, I do like the thing being on at times, but sometimes I just don't. I don't like them. Get on my nerves because they're just so stupid, and they just drive into you and get in your way and annoying.
Looking.
Well, it's like when we were playing on the base map when the game first came out. That AI that pushed my combine into a ditch and I couldn't get it out.
Yep, that was fun.
It was funny, but it wasn't funny at the same time. I was getting really stressed because I could not get it out.
That's what made it fun.
I don't mind the traffic as much if it were more realistic. Yeah, true. Actual destinations, not having them running to you on intersections, etc. Most of the traffic just goes nowhere. Yeah, it's true. True. It's just not intelligent enough. Don't get me wrong. Like argument's sake, I don't know if you play like Euro Truck Simulator. Again, it's not the most intelligent AI, but more intelligent than Farming Sim. If it was that kind of level, I probably wouldn't mind it so much. You know, I'd probably be a bit more tolerant towards it. You know, I probably would have a bit more tolerance towards the AI if it was a bit more intelligent. I have it, but I don't play it much. Again, that's another game that I've sunk thousands of hours into. I think I've got about 1,600 hours on Euro Truck. And then again, I've got about 500 hours on American Truck. So, mine's over the course of years, so I've owned Euro Truck Simulator 2 since about 2013. So like the 1,600 hours is from all those years from then. I've had it a long time. Right, so we need something to move the bales. Yeah, choose to save now. Wrong screen. We need a bale loader.
Sorry if I'm picking up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Right, I'm not going to buy a bale loader because I don't think we need to keep it. I think I'll just lease it. Now. Yeah, we'll lease it. They'll do for now. I'm really surprised no one has recreated Calmsden Farm area. Apparently someone is. I was reading something on Facebook a couple of months ago. Someone is actually working on Calmsden Farm. It is under construction. So, eventually, it's not surprising now. So eventually I wouldn't mind seeing it pop up at some point. It may not have the same name as Calmsden Farm, obviously, because they'd have to get permission to use the name of his farm. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did give permission, to be fair, if they could get it. So...
Oh, it's really funny, but it's such a simple name that he's named it, innit? But
yeah.
something you won't think of.
No, that's the...
It's different.
I've tried in the past. I have actually created a map before. I've spent a long time doing it, and it's not easy. It isn't easy. Don't get me wrong, building the map itself and laying it out and all that kind of thing is actually pretty simple and straightforward. You know, it's pretty straightforward just to sort of like put your assets in and all that kind of thing. That's pretty easy. It's the coding behind it, because obviously, like, if you have like moving doors and gates and stuff like that, you have to put the coding in for each individual door, each individual gate. If you want the lights to work, just said light switch and all that kind of thing. If you want to go into that level of detail, it gets quite complicated. But if you keep it simple, so sort of like the level of you don't have gates, you don't have doors on your buildings, all that kind of thing, it's actually pretty straightforward. It is a case of just literally getting your assets together. Because there is assets you can just download to use, you know, that people share and all that kind of thing, so you don't have to make your own. You know.
Yeah, well,
Well,
we
that's
managed
actually
to
then
figure
alright.
it out how to do the whole open gates and stuff like that. And the
Yeah,
whole
we got it,
movement.
didn't we?
It was when we got it into the Giants editor, weren't it?
We were having problems with textures. It was textures we were having issues. It kept stripping the textures, yeah.
Of the movable things.
I know quite a bit of stuff like to do with that kind of thing. I'm not a coder or a programmer or anything like that. My level of like ICT skill is I got a GMBQ in ICT. That's about it. You know, but I've used PCs all my life, kind of thing, and I have done quite a bit of stuff over time. But when it comes to stuff becoming overly complicated for no bloody reason, that's when I get annoyed. I start getting really angry at it. You know, because when it's simple and straightforward, and you know, you can sort of like maybe watch a couple of YouTube videos or anything like that, and you sort of like, yeah, I get that, a bit of practice, it'll work and all that kind of thing. But we were doing the map, and we were sort of trying to teach ourselves as we were going and all that kind of thing, and we were having problems with some of the assets, weren't we? And the colour, the textures just were not sticking to the product, and it was like, well, why is this happening? And we kept looking into it, and then it kept saying like, you need to change this, you need to change that, and we was doing it, and it still weren't fixing it. And after a while, we just got to the point where we were like, sack it, can't be bothered. I won't mind, we weren't far off completion, were we?
No,
It was just certain assets weren't working, and it was like, well, I'd have to take them all out of the map. It was after an update, believe it or not. It was fine until we had this particular update to Giants Editor, and everything just broke. I was like, oh, but we weren't far off completion, and then I gave up on it, so it never actually got published, unfortunately. I was trying to get the height map DM to work, and it just didn't. I have managed to do it to an extent. I actually did one of a farm in my local area, the height map and everything, and it does work to an extent. It's quite difficult, to be fair, when you're using the. Did you use the one where you use the Google Earth, and then it does like the red, green, and what have you? I can't remember how it works properly. It's been a while. Like it gives you like the red, green tones and everything like that. So it shows you your elevation, your elevation map and all that kind of thing. Because I remember doing that. Yours was black, white, and grey. Yeah, well, mine was a coloured one that I did. I think it's basically the same thing. You know, and it basically sort of just gives you lumps and bumps of where things are supposed to be. So like obviously there's like bumps for trees and all that kind of thing. Right, yeah, the one I looked at, it was colour scale. But yeah, it would be a similar thing. But no, it is quite complicated. I kind of got it to work, so I could kind of get a gist of where things were supposed to be. But again, I ended up just doing it myself. Yeah, I ended up just sort of winging it. It was quite hard.
You did a good job.
I did do a good job of it, but it was hard.
It was.
It was hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I do commend map makers for what they do. You know, it's got to be stressful, especially when you first start out doing it. Go on, tractor, move.
Also, once you do it,
Right, it comes second nature, doesn't it?
yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, it becomes second nature after a while. But it's with it's like with me, like on Forza, when I'm doing skins and stuff like that. It all takes me like 3 or 4 minutes to do a livery. You know, I can do liveries with my eyes shut. It doesn't take me long. But I've been doing them for quite a while, haven't I? So kind of get used to it. Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the problem with me, I get stressed with technical stuff. So I try not to do it if I can help it. So,
I end up drawing a line, don't I? I'm like, right, nope,
yeah.
can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's enough. I drive
More
myself
stress.
nuts with it, don't I? Yeah, I drive myself nuts. Yeah, because I've always wanted to make a mod for farming sim, proper one, but just never got it to full fruition. It's a shame, but maybe in the future.
Miss Law.
No, don't worry, don't worry. Getting the bales collected.
Oh, you going?
Oh. Would help if I stopped for the bale collector to actually move. Went a bit quick. I know. Slow down, you're in the country.
Bigger than. Oh, this is the same one, isn't it?
It's same one, yeah.
Yeah. That's
But no, it is
probably
bigger
why
than it. It's bigger than it looks.
Actually.
No. I do want to buy another field at some point though. But what I think we'll do with this field next time is we'll make more silage bales to sell. Just to get some money in. Do you prefer the maps with character or the big flat open land maps? I prefer
Character.
English maps personally. Yeah, character. I go for character over space. I'm not bothered if it's a big map, a small map. I don't really care too much on size. I just prefer it to have a nice feel. Well, that's generally what we're about, aren't we, when we're farming?
Yeah.
We go for feel over anything else. We play quite a few maps. So like on Agrotech on YouTube, you know, we've got Stap and Back. We've got Chellington. We never did Sandy Bay on YouTube, did we? But we did play it. We have played Sandy Bay. We've got. Trying to think now. We've done quite a few. I can't remember the names of them. But like out of most of them, I'd say our favourites were Chellington because it had a really nice feel to it. You know, we did like Sandy Bay, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We just found that the main farmyard just lacked a bit of lustre, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But we're a big fan of Oxygendavid. We're both quite a big fan of him. He's a really good map maker. He's a really good map maker.
As soon as we found out that he'd done this one,
We were like, yep.
we're like, yeah, we don't checking that. I quite like it. It's not the best one he's done.
No, to be honest, I think with this map, he was just sort of aiming to get one out.
Yeah, at the beginning of
at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that as well.
He was just sort of aiming to get one out and sort of get something on the map, kind of thing, for him at the start of the game, and then that'll give him some breathing space. Oh, going into the trees. It'll give him some breathing space to do something else a bit more detailed. You know, because he did say that he wanted to do some new maps this time. He didn't want to do some remakes.
Which is, I would have.
I know, but the problem is is a remake from FS15, so it is unfortunate that we probably won't see Chellington again. But we'll see. We'll see in the future.
You never know. Maps that we like.
Well, there's a few on there now, isn't there? So, like we said, if the Xbox actually allows us to stream, like we said about making a second series, we'll try some other. Yes, All Stream is a remake from way back. That, I believe, originally came out on FS13, and it was out on 15. I don't remember it being on 17. It was on 19. So yeah, it's quite an old map, and it's just been remodeled every time. Another one as well is Shamrock Valley. That's another one that people like to remake as well. So if that pops up, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that was made by Bullet Bill, that one. But again, that's quite a nice map. It's quite a nice map. Now let's shut that gate so that I can back in here. Yeah, on 19 it was very basic because I just did a quick port over. I think it was on 17, because it was one of the early ones that they brought out for 19. So I do think it was just a quick port over, so it wasn't very detailed. But no, it's a nice map though. It's a nice map. I like it. It's the first map that you ever played, Shamrock Valley.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember it all that.
The one where you
Was it when I was trying to make mixed rations?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, the one where you were making mixed rations and started chucking stuff everywhere because you were getting annoyed.
Yeah, and I ended up doing it wasn't mixed rations, was it? It was what did I make in it? I put too much of one
But you
thing.
made forage.
Forage, that's the one.
Yeah, you kept making forage. I kept telling you how to make it, you kept making forage instead.
Yeah, and I was like, why is it going wrong? You keep telling me what to put in it, and I'm putting the right things in, but it wasn't doing it, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever play on that map again just because of that.
Traumatised you.
Yeah, I think it did. I'll always associate it with it, won't I?
Yeah, probably. Right, so we'll leave the hay there. It doesn't look like hay, that's kind of weird. More like grass.
That doesn't look.
No, it's hay. It's hay.
That is.
It's definitely hay. Let's wait for it to pull up, and we'll go start collecting the silage bales. We have got a few there already, but just wanted to make sure we had a few more for the cows. Keep them all happy. But like I said, when the field next grows, we'll make another batch of silage, I think, to sell.
Yeah.
Just to get some money, and then we can potentially buy another field. Potentially. Depends how much we get for it. Depends how much we get for it.
have done the all them. I think I might have it. It curves off.
Yeah, don't worry
Oh,
too
I've done
much. And there go the squished deers again. They always seem to like running out in front of the tractor as soon as I drive past. Roadkill.
Gotta admit.
Yeah, they do. The animals in general do look better, but the deers on this do free lunch, yeah. Yeah, or a bit of venison. Make a venison butty or sandwich, depending on where you're from.
Like the muffin.
Yeah, muffin bap. Bam.
Cake.
Bam
roll,
cake.
roll.
I wish they do the other types of birds and just the crows. Yeah, no, it'd be nice if they did have some different bits in it. But saying that, we were talking about like how long farming sim's been out, and every 2 years they release a game, and every 2 years they add 2, maybe 3 crops. And it's like, there's so many crops out there, why don't they just add a few more? Or even mid-year, you know, like do a little DLC or something like that, just add in a couple of new crops with the equipment to go with it.
Yeah,
And the two now have them all in
people would buy a DLC for about £2 to £10 for a couple.
Yeah, for the crops and equipment, of course it would.
A lot of people would.
To be honest, if I was going to get a DLC that give me, say, I don't know, 2 new types of crop, and then all the equipment to go with it, I'd quite happily spend £9.99 on it.
Yeah,
You know. Yeah, I'd be
obviously,
quite
if they were
happy to do
bringing it
that.
out every other day, that'd be a different
Yeah,
story.
that'd be different. Yeah, exactly. But the
know.
thing is, though, you know, from Giant's reputation, usually they bring a DLC out, and then whatever's in that DLC will be included in the next game anyway.
Yeah.
So you won't have to pay for it again. The first one was FS 2009. So, been like, what, 12 years?
To be fair, it's
Like
like,
13 years.
yeah, to be fair, they've been dragging it sort of.
Yeah.
I think that's why
but-
they switched, weren't it?
But I'll just go to say, this is the first game they've ever released without a publisher. They've always had a publisher hanging over them, saying you can't do this, you can't do that. So like all the production stuff that's in this one, they've actually had. I know this was a rewrite to make it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they actually had all the production stuff ready for 19. They actually made it as a mock-up for 19, but the publishers would not allow them to release the game with it involved because they felt it was taking it too far away from farming. So it was backburnered. So then Giants decided, well, I'm off. I'll do it myself. You
To
know,
be fair, they could have.
they could have done it years ago, but obviously they were a small company. It's the only game they've ever made. You know, it's you've got to give them time to grow, ain't you?
Of course, yeah.
But it's I'm glad they did make that leap because now we might actually see some improvement in some of the gameplay. You know, the only thing I will say is since they came away from the publisher, they're a bit slower on the updates and repairs for broken stuff. Still, it's taking them a little while to get on board with that.
Might have to
And in about a second, I will be done too.
bail them.
Go and put the baler back. This trailer is very heavy. There we go, and put it into transport position when it's done. And that is our silage and hay all picked up. Yep, I don't think we'll have any problems with silage for a little while.
No, hopefully not.
Fingers crossed. Obviously that field's going to need a bit of fertiliser at some point.
Remember that we were dropping road and they
That was Stappen back.
That's Stappen back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was why we shut it down earlier.
That's
wasn't it?
yeah. That's why we shut down that game. I was enjoying that map, to be fair, but there was just so many bugs and glitches. It was annoying. I suppose they still have to get the okay from all
Aye,
the
they do.
branded stuff. Yeah, that is true.